This right here is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and I've been testing out this camera for about a month now for all of my content creation, and I just wanted to show you guys some of my favorite features on here, why I picked this camera, and everything I think you guys should know before you buy. I went through a bunch of different options when I was thinking about what type of camera I wanted, and I'm someone that likes to do a lot of vlogging as well as a lot of these review videos, so I wanted something that I could switch between vertical and horizontal shooting pretty easily, and that's why I settled on this Osmo Pocket 3. I really liked that the display is very simple to go from vertical and into horizontal landscape mode. One thing to note about the recording quality is that if you have it in landscape mode, it does have the ability to shoot in 4K and 120 frames per second. But if you switch it to vertical, it does only have the ability to shoot in 3K and 60 frames per second. I know that does seem like a lot, but honestly, I didn't have a lot of problems noticing any of those differences when I did switch between landscape and portrait. Another neat feature about the Osmo Pocket 3, especially for people that vlog, is the ease in which you can switch the camera and see the actual display itself. So I was doing a lot of vlogging on my iPhone, and one thing I hated was that the front-facing camera doesn't have high video quality compared to the back camera, but when I was using the back camera, I couldn't see my actual face or make sure I was in frame. With just one push of a button, I can actually switch the camera facing and make sure that I am in frame. This is super handy for anyone that vlogs or does a lot of content creation where you're actively facing and talking towards the camera. I know investing in an expensive camera can be very daunting, especially when a lot of cameras have so many buttons, and you may be intimidated by how user-friendly it really can be, but I really do think the Osmo Pocket 3 has a really great crossroad of video quality as well as being user-friendly. Actually controlling the Osmo Pocket 3 is also very simple. It does only feature two buttons right here. It has a start and stop button that can also be doubled as a power button, as well as this little controller on top right here, and this will control the actual gimbal itself. So you can use the joystick right here to control the amount that it zooms, or you can actually use it to control the gimbal angle itself so you can get the perfect angle no matter what. There are a bunch of features on the Osmo Pocket 3 and a bunch of different settings that you can kind of just cycle towards, so I do think it does have a very versatile display as well. It isn't just a vlogging camera. DJI also made it very easy to cycle through all of the different settings. So with just one swipe, you can actually see all of your different settings for the exposure, for white balance, for color, as well as different types of focus modes. You can also go through and change the different microphone settings, and honestly, I did think that the microphone itself is pretty good in general. One standout feature that I wanted to talk about is just how well the Osmo Pocket 3 focuses on objects. So right now I am videoing on my iPhone, and when I feature a product right here that I want the phone to focus on, it has a really hard time actually tracking the object and focusing on it. And you can see that when I do put my phone up to the Osmo Pocket 3, it has absolutely no problem tracking my phone and focusing on it and making sure that it's in the best possible display. There's even a focus setting on the camera that is labeled Product Showcase that's specifically geared for showing items close to a camera in a motionless fashion. So it's really good for product reviews or any type of like makeup tutorials, showing the audience and the camera really up close what you're doing and displaying a certain product. Again, I think that is probably one of my favorite features with the Osmo Pocket 3 is just how quick it is to focus on an object and how detailed it can really be with that video quality. One last feature I wanted to talk about when it comes to the focusing settings on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is the ability to track your face. This is definitely one of the most handy features, especially if you are vlogging and you are concerned about coming out of frame if the gimbal loses track of you. DJI really had vloggers in mind when they designed this camera. This face tracking feature makes it super simple to continuously just focus on talking and creating content without constantly having to worry if you're falling out of frame. You can see that I'm moving left and right, and the gimbal actually tracks my face and will keep me in frame the entire time. Again, I do think this is a really handy feature. I think that the gimbal moves pretty easily and pretty smoothly, and it really doesn't lose track of where I am moving completely. If there were anything I would change about the Osmo Pocket 3, it's definitely its battery life. I do think that there are some improvements to be made with the battery life, especially if you are taking it on a long trip, maybe hiking, and you want to really record all day. It does get a little bit warm and the battery does deplete pretty quickly in my opinion, but if you do have it hooked up to an external battery source, I will say it does charge pretty fast. So if you are the casual vlogger that doesn't necessarily need to video every single moment, I do think it does have a lot of longevity in terms of the battery. But if you are looking for a camera that you can nonstop record all day, every day, I would definitely consider getting a battery pack with it or having some type of access to an outlet to charge it. So whether you are looking to create some serious content or you're just a casual vlogger, I definitely recommend the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I think its size and its weight is super handy, especially if you're taking it on the go everywhere and anywhere. Not only that, but I think its video quality is seriously unmatched with a lot of different cameras. And again, one of its standout features to me is just how easy it makes it to go from landscape mode to portrait mode. So you can shoot all sorts of variations of your content and upload it to a bunch of different platforms just by switching the screen. Overall, I am really impressed with this camera and I'm super excited to continue to use it.